One thing that has blessed me this week that has been on my mind, it says you cannot change what you tolerate. You cannot change what you tolerate. A lot of us tolerate so many things. A lot of us want to change certain things, but we keep tolerating it. And it stemmed out from work. You know, at work, there's this guy. He's a smallish guy. And normally he comes around, and because I've been going to the gym for a bit, so kind of built. And he comes around you, and he'll always come and give you, like, be punching you like a punch bag. I mean, not to hurt you, but he finds some fun in doing that. And normally it's uncomfortable because sometimes you're not aware of yourself and he just shows up from nowhere, so one of the colleagues told me, listen, next time when he does that, hit him back, he'll stop. And I was like, no, I know he's joking and everything, so I don't have to hit him, and it's not like that kind of thing. And it was like, no, try it one day, he will stop. So I just left it, and he kept doing it. So then that statement made sense to me, that you cannot change what you tolerate. So because he does it and I tolerate it, he's just going to keep doing it. So I just left it at that until one day he did it, and I said, listen, I'm going to pay you back. So he thought it was a joke. He did it. I waited for him the moment he wasn't watching. And I also gave him some quick, and since then, he's been aware of himself. Anytime he comes, he's like, yeah, I feel like doing it, but no, I don't want to get it back. So I realized one thing, that if you want to change something, you don't change it by tolerating it. You don't change something by tolerating it, because the more you tolerate it, it's going to stay the same. And now you cannot do the same things you are doing and expect to see anything different. So when something comes your way and you receive it, something comes and you embrace it, it will keep coming, because that is exactly what you're going to be getting, because that thing feels comfortable. Now, how many times in your life have you said, enough is enough? This time I won't change. Enough is enough. This time I'm moving on. Enough is enough. Some of you are in relationships that are abusive, but you have always said with your mouth, enough is enough. Some of you are hooked up to the wrong boyfriend, the wrong girlfriend, and all you keep saying year after year, enough is enough. He does something wrong, enough is enough. You are in the wrong job, they maltreat you, they treat you anyhow, enough is enough. But the next day you are there, the next month you are there again. I came to speak to you about this statement, enough is enough. My thing tonight is that I will not stand for this anymore. When you come to the place where you are tired, the place where you are fed up of these things that happen around you, and you feel like, I don't want this anymore, you don't just say enough is enough, but there are certain things that you must do. And those are the things I want to tell you tonight. I observed a sailing ship. And I realized something, that the sailing ship changes direction based on its dynamics. So when the wind is blowing, the ship must be positioned in a certain way to get motion. Now, when the ship wants to change direction, it has to change something about its position in order for the change to happen. Now, what happens is that when the wind is blowing, there is something you call the mast. The mast is a long stick, it's like a pole that stands on the ship. And then there's a sail, which is like a cloth that holds onto the mast. Now, the direction or the position of the sail against the wind will determine the direction of the ship. The ship will sail a certain direction if you position the sail that is on the mast in a certain way so that it catches the wind at a certain direction. Now, the Lord spoke to me with that dynamic and said, listen, a lot of us have the confession. We want change, so we use our mouth. We make confession. I want to change. I want to be a millionaire. I want to win, like the message I last posted. I want to win. I want to be a winner. I want to create this. I want to be that. I want to be that. So we have that confession. We have the positive confession. We have the godly confession, which is the must. A confession is something that stands strong. So it is the must, the pole that stands there. But the Lord spoke to me and said, it is not necessarily a game changer. That post stands there because there is something that leans upon the post. And that is what brings about change, not the post. The wind can hit against the post all it likes, but it will not bring change in the direction of the ship. But what brings change is the mast. And the Lord said to me, the two things that must happen is that the mast must be strong. Your confession must be strong. But the other thing that must position itself against the wind to bring change is the sail. Now, the sail is your mind. No matter how much you confess, if your mind does not change, there is not going to be a change in direction. Oh my goodness, listen to me. If you do not change the position of the sail, no matter how strong the post is, the ship will not change direction. Your life has been in a certain pattern and you are thinking of changing, but all you have done is confess change, but you have not changed your mind. Nothing changes until your mind changes. Your confession is almost useless until your mind changes. But I don't say useless, I say almost, because your mind will change not by the change that you put to it. Your mind changes by the confession that you make. And that is why sometimes, let me give you this analogy, why I'm saying your mind changes based on your confession. Your mind may not change directly or suddenly, but based on your confession, your mind begins to change. That is why you have somebody, they tell a lie so much. They tell that lie for a very long time. Eventually, they themselves begin to believe that lie. So automatically, when you challenge it, they don't even remember that it was a lie in the first place. So that is what happens. When you begin to confess change over a period of time, your mind has got to change. A lot of you are in a certain relationship that is not working, but your mouth has confessed so many times, your mind has not changed, and that is why you're still in that position. You went into a certain detail, you went into a certain lifestyle, you did something and it cost you so much and you felt the pain of it, but with your mouth you have caused change, confession, but with your mind you haven't changed, and that is why it keeps repeating itself. If you want something to change, you must change your mind. Are you hearing me? Until your mind has changed, nothing changes. You can confess all you like. Confession must change your mind, and it is your mind that changes stuff. Remember, the Bible says that He's able to do exceedingly and abundantly, far above what we can think or imagine. So your imagination is the start point. Your imagination is the start point. Now, your imagination is based on your confession. So sometimes you realize you are going into a certain place, and with your mouth you keep saying, "Oh, I'm going to see something, or something's going to happen." Something automatically your mind begins to see things. You're going to a place and you say, "Oh, this place is dark." Normally, when a place is dark, blah 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 blah, you keep talking. Your mind begins to see what your mouth is saying. So I came to help somebody tonight with this simple message. If you want to see change, two things must happen. For you to show that you want change, number one, your confession must be in line with the change you're looking for. Number two, your mindset must change. A lot of us, our confessions have changed, but our mindsets have not changed. Until you change your mind, the Bible says, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." It starts by the renewing of your mind. Transformation happens by the renewing of your mind. Transformation does not happen by confession. The mind changes by confession, and by the change of mind, transformation happens. Because what you can see in your mind's eye, you can see with your physical eye. And that is what faith is. What you can see in your mind's eye, you can then see with your physical eye. So I came to encourage you. If it is a new job you're looking for, you've got to see it in your mind's eye. If it is a good relationship you're looking for, you've got to see it in your mind's eye. If it is a good marriage you're looking for, you've got to see it in your mind's eye. If it is a financial change you're looking for, you've got to see it in your mind's eye. Until you see it in your mind's eye, your mouth confession will not change a thing. Are you hearing me? Your mouth confession will not change a thing. Your mouth confession changes your mind. And when your mind begins to see it, then it comes into the physical. A lot of the things that happen in physical is because our minds have seen it. Do you realize that warfare only starts by knowledge? Warfare starts by knowledge. When you begin to listen, you do not know that a certain thing is dangerous until somebody tells you. As soon as you receive it into your mind, it becomes a warfare point. You begin to then see it as a danger thing. In fact, imagine I showed you a certain stone. It was a red stone. It looked almost like fire. Maybe it was just a cold stone, but I held it with a piece of metal and I told you I just took this out of the fire because of the color and because of what you know about heat and the hotness of the stone. Suddenly, your mind is going to be on that thing. And once you see it, have you realized that somebody will come to you and make a joke with you and have an iron in their hand? The iron may be very cold. Not hot, cold, and they pretend to put the iron in your skin that is going to burn you. You suddenly feel the heat until you realize that that thing didn't burn me. The mind must see something for it to happen in the physical. Because your mind told you that that iron is hot, suddenly it touches your skin and you feel the heat before you realize that it was actually cold. I came to encourage somebody. If you must see change in your life, first see it in your mind's eye. First, see it in your mind's eye. I don't know what change you're looking for, but begin to see it up here. Begin to see it up here. If you want to write a book, see it up here. If you ask all these movie writers and all these, they tell you they first see it here. They must see the movie in the head before they write it. They must see it here. If you don't see it here, you cannot bring it to pass. If you don't see it here, it will not be established. Two things. The must that stands is your confession. It must stand strong. Your confession must be strong. A lot of us, our mouth confesses things that is not sure. We say things that we are not sure of. Our mouth, 1 minute, I want to be a millionaire. When situations change, you begin to change your confession. Okay, maybe I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to be a hundredaire. Just because situations have changed. The mast that stands on the ship stands strong. Whether the winds blow hard or soft, it still stands strong. Your confession must stand strong. If your confession is wavy, your sail cannot catch the wind. And if your sail catches the wind, it will break. So the must be strong. If your confession is not strong, whenever your mind sees anything, it can break your confession. That's just come to me. It can be your mind seeing things can break your confession if your confession is not strong. So for instance, you're confessing that this year I'm going to be a millionaire. This year I'm going to see the goodness of God. This year I'm going to receive my healing. This year I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then something shifts and then something happens, a turbulence happens or something happens to you or you enter into a certain temptation or trial and you enter into a certain straight away, your confession begins to change. It means that your confession was not strong in the first place. Your must was not firm. Two things. Your must must be strong and your sail must catch the wind if there must be change. Put it this way, if I want to paraphrase it. Two things. Your confession must be strong and your mind must be able to catch change in order for you to experience change in your life. In order for you to experience change in your life. The reason why things are the same is because your mind has not changed. The reason why you seem to be living under a curse is because your mind has not changed. Listen to me. It is enough that Jesus died for you. So whatever familiar curse or lineage curse that there is, when your mind changes and you say that because I am a child of God minus me, that curse can reign all it likes. But when it comes to you, it surely will be minus you. It doesn't matter if there's been poverty in the line, if everybody from your household was poor, if nobody in your line got married, if nobody in your line ever bore children. When you put your mind to it and you begin to see it that I'm a child of God, so I will get married, I will have a child, I will not be poor. When your mind sees it, automatically you are exempted from that thing. What your mind sees will be established. What your mind sees will be established. Can I encourage you tonight? Begin to see things with your mind. Don't just confess it. You want change? See it in your mind. A lot of you, the reason why you're stuck in that, you can't see yourself outside of the relationship. You're stuck in a relationship because you can't see yourself outside of a relationship. So the relationship is killing you, but you're stuck in it because in your mind's eye, you can't imagine yourself without a man. You can't imagine yourself without, listen, money is controlling you because in your mind's eye, you can't see yourself, imagine yourself without money. Come on. Your friends are controlling you because in your mind's eye, you cannot see yourself without those friends. Your insecurities are destroying you because in your mind you see your insecurities causing havoc, or your insecurities causing people to laugh at you. So it's all up here. If you want to see change, change your mind.